Good afternoon, everybody. It's 3:28 p.m. on Sunday, the 15th of December 2024. This is part 4 of the Exploring the Parish of Christchurch Drive. We've been trying to cover as much as Christchurch as possible, and today we're going to take off from Highway U. And just for those who may not have remembered, Highway U is the road that turns out of Oistins to the right, as opposed to going left to go up Thornbury Hill. This is the road that turns right, and it can take you all the way down to Atlantic Shores and Ealing Park and so on. We are heading towards Oistins now, and passing the constituency office of Wilfred Abrams, MP for Christchurch East. We covered this area on either part 2 or part 3 of this drive, Exploring the Parish of Christchurch. So it's currently 29 degrees Celsius in Barbados, a very sunny day, a nice day today. And on the previous occasion, we turned right at this point. And we had said that we would do this again and make a left. So if you see this roundabout or bit of roundabout, we took the roundabout, and where that car is now, we went up that road to connect the dots for you between Gibbons and Wilcox. So we're turning left here off Highway U, following this ZR onto Enterprise Drive. We have Goodland Gardens on the right. So this is Goodland. And just to give you a bit of a short view of the area so you can get a feel for the houses in here. Just one quick turn in. This is a residential area of Christchurch. Dead end there. So this is one end. Of course, we could have gone down further had we turned left, but this is just a quick in and out of Goodland Gardens. Relatively modest area, very comfortable. This looks like an old windmill that was converted to a dwelling in front of us there. And you can see several turns and avenues. Some nice houses in here as well, and of course Holiday Spice apartments. Just to make the point that Christchurch has several guest houses and villas, and the whole South Coast area has its own brand of tourism, just as the West Coast has its own brand of tourism. So does the South Coast. Okay, so that's just a little look into this turn off from Enterprise Drive. So So we made that turn, that left turn off Highway U onto Enterprise Drive, and we just nipped into Goodland Gardens. So we make our way back to Enterprise Drive. Leaving Goodland Gardens, and we're back on our journey. All of these right turns take you down to several villas and guest houses. There's no end of it, no end of opportunity for tourism down this side. And Enterprise Drive becomes St. Christopher's Road once we make that bend, and then we are suddenly into St. Christopher's. So St. Christopher's is a very well-known, look at this guy. St. Christopher's is a very well-known area in Christchurch. It has been known to swing constituencies at election time. Densely populated. You can see all down here at the St. Christopher's Primary School. And as usual, the gates are closed. This is the St. Christopher's Primary School. Strive for excellence and keep the flame aglow. For some reason, anytime we do these drives, the primary schools are always closed, but the secondary schools are usually open. There's a little playing court out here. So this is St. Christopher's Primary School, and of course, as I said, a well-known area. Christchurch, St. Christopher's. Of course, there are left turns and right turns. Church of the Nazarene on the right. So when anybody tells you they're from St. Christopher's in Christchurch, this is where they mean. Here is the Anglican or Episcopal Church on our right. Residents just taking a 5 out there, and then we make this little drive down you can get to the Silver Sands Recreational Park from here, this left turn, but we just want to take you down to the end so that you can get to the bottom of Barbados. Of course, we've covered the South Point in the past. As you can see, there are always a lot of tourists around the place because there are several villas and turns and turns and hideaways such as this one. Surfers Bay. So we are essentially at the bottom of Barbados. Let's just illustrate here with this window to the sea on our left. Not much driving to do there because you're going into the sea. And most of the places here you'll see some flags and different signs. Most of the places here are for tourist accommodation. And there's the famous Surfers Bay Beach Bar. That's a landmark down here. You can see the Barbados flag there. All of this is tourist accommodation. Look at the lovely sea out there. And here you have Surfers Bay Beachfront Inn. We can come in here. Just turn. Barbados is a tiny, tiny dot within a tiny, tiny dot on planet Earth. And there is no end to discovery. All of these places are unknown to many of our viewers, and we know this because of the feedback that we receive. Just turning here so you can see the back of that facility, how large it is. And just to show you the Surfers Bay. Of course, it's a place frequented by surfers. You can see all of these little facilities down in here. So when you're coming to Barbados on a trip, there are many places with good breaks, some good deals. There's this place here, Blue Ocean Cottage, right ahead of us. There's so many. And this is like a little treasure, hidden, very private, quiet and peaceful. You can come here and have a little staycation, as they call it, for locals who want to get away from their own routines. See a plane coming in, top left, right about now. You should see it. There it is. That's because we're very close to the airport, and had you been following parts 1, 2 and 3, you would understand exactly where we are in relation to the airport. So just to make a little turn off, remember we are in the area of St. Christopher's, and there's this place here, Inch Cape Seaside Villas Apartments. Of course, that's a private something, so we won't get in there. And this is some sort of an abandoned project out here. Not sure what it was. It's unfortunate because it's a very large facility or resort or whatever it was. Right now the chickens and roosters have taken it over. And it goes all the way down to the back here. Some people come here to get to the sea, to have a nice quiet sea bath. You can see these vehicles with the surfing equipment, and if you look carefully you can see some people paddle boarding out there. So this is a nice getaway for some people. So it's kind of rough out there. It's not really the type of beach that you would go to for a quiet swim. It's more useful to people who want to do some surfing and or have a bit of a more of a rough water experience. And so you can see there's just dead end out here, and people come here mainly with their surfboards to do their thing. That vehicle is blocking our space where we usually turn. So we have to reverse all the way out. Right. So this is a little hideaway for people who want to come to the sea and bit of a more of a private environment, such as this guy. They're staying right there at that villa, so they probably just nip across to take a nice sea bath, as we call it. Okay, so we continue on. This was the left turn we mentioned a while ago to go to the Silver Sands Recreational Park. So this is a bit more user friendly in terms of if you go to the beach, as we say. Right, so you come down here. You can see this sign that says Silver Sands Recreational Park. There's parking facilities. There's a gazebo on the left. A lot of parking. clean facilities here, washroom, male, female. There's a park there. You have the swings and slides, pasture for football. A very nice facility out here. Some good fetes and parties. See the gazebo there, All Year's Night. It's a nice area to come. Then you can go and have your dip in the sea. You can see there's sand all around here because you're right on the beach. Just snip through this area here so that you can see it from the other side. So you can see all of the swings here. It's an actual park, well kept. There's a sign somewhere around here that says it was established in 2004, so that's what, 20 years. And of course you can turn left here and that takes you to some private facilities, so we can't turn in there. But this is the Silver Sands Recreational Park. Place of interest in Christchurch, probably unknown to many, but of course those of us who like to explore Barbados, we find these places, and of course the residents of the area would know it quite naturally. Lisbonville, that's what they call it. So if you look here carefully, you can see there's some water there forming some sort of a little dam there. That's coming off from this area here reminds me of Oistins because of this fish boat. Just want to show you this area. There are some benches here and you can look out into the water there. Come and read your book, have a meal, have a nice quiet talk, and that water is being fed from the sea, which is right behind it. You can see there are lots of facilities out here. This area, if we turn left, it would take us to Ealing Park. Lots of facilities to the right and the left. Some serious tourists. This is a serious tourist area. Just take you just to see this little walkway down to the sea. I'm not sure how to, yes. So you can see the beaches right there. So all of these hotels and villas out here, you're just in walking distance, and you can get directly into the seawater within minutes. Silver Point Hotel, now out of commission. And of course there are residences scattered among these hotels and villas. So this seems to be the back of Inchview. That's what the sign says. There's Ocean Bliss here. These are residences. Sort of a mechanic out here. Okay, so we are in the vicinity of Ealing Park. You can see these children are out here playing some sort of game there. This is holiday time for the school children. Christmas is approaching, and depending on when we release this drive, we may very well be into 2025. But today is the 15th of December 2024, and it's now 3:54 p.m. and we are connecting some dots here because in our previous drive, part 2, some of you may remember this road. We went down and we saw a private villa and we turned around. So we've come here before. Very bad road, but it was worth the drive because it now helps our viewers. And there, all of these turns down here, like Gloria's, there are other facilities at Trinity Breeze. All of these, there's several facilities, too many to mention. And for our viewers who like to look for good deals, and we have people who like to use our drives to help them plan their trips. This connects the dots because we are going right back to Highway U from this area. This is Seaview Road, so we're in Ealing Park South, Parkside Drive here, that left turn. And here we are back. Oops. So you all will remember that turn that the Mazda 3 just made. We turned there in part 2 of our drive. So one Mazda 3 to another. So back on Highway U, and we are driving in the direction of Oistins, but we'll just nip over here just to give you a little view of this neighborhood, one of the many in Christchurch. There are some lovely homes here. This is what you would consider a middle to upper income neighborhood. Are better kept than others, but I'm sure this turn-in can give you an idea of the settlement. Are not so nice, but of course all roads can't be, right? Okay, so we are back on Highway U, making our way to Oistins. So to the left, Ealing Park South, to the right, Ealing Park North. And this is what connects Atlantic Shores to Oistins, and we covered that in part 2. What's interesting about this Highway U also is that you can find 2 members of parliament with their constituency offices on this stretch. So we started today's drive somewhere around here. You can see Wilfred Abrams, Christchurch East constituency office on the right. This spot here was where Stephen Griffith, the late Stephen Griffith of Royal Bank of Canada, lost his life right in this spot. May he rest in peace. This was where we turned a short while ago to go to Goodland Gardens, and this roundabout, a funny roundabout, this was where we turned on part 2 of our drive. We went up exploring up that road. So just to take this roundabout to show you the area. Calling now, selling fast, house and land, $327,600, and there's a barcode. Not a barcode, a QR code. There's a pharmacy out here. So we continue along Highway U, making our way to Oistins, and just using Oistins as a landmark. So that you understand where we're driving. Here we see Bargain Motors on the right, another popular place for used vehicles and trade-ins. So you get an idea of where we are. Enterprise Convenience Store. We are 1 kilometer from Oistins according to that sign. And if I'm not mistaken, that building on the left was the, as far as I knew, that was where the MP Ralph Thorne's constituency office was. So it seems as if he is no longer there. Yes, since he made that change. Sorry, earlier I said referred to Atlantic Shores. I meant to say Chancery Lane. This is the road that you take to get to Atlantic Shores. So Highway U connects Oistins and Chancery Lane, not Atlantic Shores. Atlantic Shores is on this turnoff. And and we've covered this area before, so we're not exploring too much in this area because we want to do new things. But this brings you to a lovely view of Enterprise Beach. So if you went left, you would go up to Atlantic Shores, and we've turned here before on a previous drive, so not too much to say about this area. This is Enterprise Beach on the left, and the other side is what is called Miami Beach. Hotels and restaurants all along the right. Behind the Miami Beach facility. And the Oistins police station. The way that man was driving behind us, blowing the horn and pushing, I thought he had some sort of a medical emergency, but he's just turned in there to go to the sea. Maybe he has to relieve himself. I can't imagine someone who was creating all of that hysteria did that to turn down there and park. If we had more time, I would have stayed to see what he wanted to do. So this is a bit of a narrow road. This is how you get to Enterprise Beach, and on the other side Miami Beach. This is life in Barbados on a Sunday. A mixture of tourists and locals enjoying the many beaches all across Barbados. What we just saw there with that tight parking and driving, that's not uncommon. You can find that everywhere. So that road right ahead takes you to Atlantic Shores, and this is Enterprise Drive and Enterprise Coast Road going up and down. So we make our way back to Highway U. To give you context, that's why we turned off here, and it's a good thing because it caused me to realize I referred to Chancery Lane as Atlantic Shores, so I would have misled our viewers. But of course, most of you like to put comments to correct us when we say the wrong thing. So as I always say, my Disclaimer is that I'm not originally from Barbados, and I get some of the names wrong, and my son is too young to know all of them himself. So we turn right. Ahead of us there is Oistins. This vehicle is leaving Oistins, and we are making the right turn to head up Thornbury Hill. So that car giving us the lights, they are leaving Oistins as well. We are now ascending Thornbury Hill, which we've done before. All of these properties to the left are a part of Oistins. This area is called Pegwell Park. Just turning in, so you can see way ahead there the hotel that we just passed by that narrow road. Pegwell Park. These apartments here are littered with solar panels, a good form of revenue. So this would be considered more or less a middle income residential area. Back onto Thornbury Hill now. We just did a quick in and out of Pegwell Park. Now we enter Goodland Gardens. Landmark here, there's this big church. It's very well known. Pegwell Community Church. We just turn through here. So this seeks to give you an idea of communities of Christchurch. That house is well decorated for Christmas. This is Waverley Road, just by that big church. use here to get back to Highway U. Okay, so that's this area, and that's at the bottom of Christchurch. So you've seen through all our videos, you've seen Atlantic Shores, you've seen the actual South Point, the area known as South Point. You've seen all of the constituency offices, including the location or former location of Ralph Thorne's constituency. We have to find out where he's moved that to. And we've covered Oistins extensively, so we won't go into Oistins again. We even have a video, a drive covering Oistins and explaining different things about it. So we turn back on to Thornbury Hill. We just passed all of this. Pegwell Park on the right. Pegwell Gardens, that right turn, and if we continued up here you would get to that point we showed you the last time, but we're just turning off to take you to Church Hill. This is the Christchurch Parish Church, and lower down is the Christchurch Foundation School. And as usual, we did venture into the school in a previous video, so we turn off here the Christchurch Cemetery. The interesting thing there is that the Christchurch Parish Church has its own cemetery, which is right next to the Christchurch Public Cemetery, which is on our left. So two burial grounds side by side. And this is just a back road that we using here. So to our left is the Christchurch Parish Church. Way down, of course, there are some properties to the left and the right. It's just a side road. Takes us right by the Maria Holder Nursery School. And of course, if you could have seen way left, you would be seeing the back of Christchurch Foundation School right now. believe they call this Churchill Road, if I'm not mistaken. So we on to yes, Churchill Road, because Churchill is the road on which you find Christchurch Foundation School. And that Churchill Road is the back of it. And we turn right at the Aberdeen Jones Centre and Market off Highway T. And we covered here the last time coming on towards this. This is the Joe Edgell Play Park on our left. So you may recall we were coming in the opposite direction, such as this white vehicle is doing now. And we came down this road, Kingsland. We passed Kingsland here. And we drove past Wotton. So today we want to explore some of Wotton. This is Water Street on our right, where you find the Milton Lynch Primary School and Christchurch Girls Primary School. So there is a Salvation Army at the corner here, and this is how we get into Wotton Terrace. Here we see the Wotton Salvation Army, and we are now officially in Wotton. So similar to Kingsland, Maria Holder Independence Park. You can see there are different types of housing solutions out here. So Kingsland and Wotton are very densely populated residential areas, and this area falls into the constituency of Christchurch East Central, Ryanstrawn. We have the famous Wotton playing field on the left. That's a big area there. Lots of football matches, and it's a big deal. This is where votes are collected and earned. So through there you can see Kingsland, the back of Kingsland, and all of this is Wotton Housing Solutions. Basketball court there, playing fields, The politicians on both sides give a lot to these communities and also promise a lot. So to the right and the left, you'll be seeing the connected housing units. Lots of speed bumps for obvious reasons. So a playing field, a recreational park, and a basketball court all in one area. Hopefully this gives you a feel of the area, feel for the area, or feel of the area. Or an idea of what it looks like, because obviously we can't cover all of it. This is Wotton. So this exit, you can use this main road to get to Kingsland as well. This is the road that connects Kingsland and Wotton. So you turn up this road and you can go straight, left, right, and get to Kingsland and Wotton. This road on our right, well, right and left, Kingsland and Kendal Hill Road, which we've seen in part 2 of exploring Christchurch. Silver Hill to the left. We pass the Dighton Griffith Secondary School on the left. So that brings us full circle from our previous drive. Part 2 of our drive, and we are now back on the ABC highway, the Adams section. So the Adams section of the ABC Highway is essentially fully within Christchurch. The ABC Highway begins in Christchurch because it begins at the airport, Tom Adams International Airport, and goes all the way down to St. Michael and connects you to Highway 1 or the West Coast. So we pass the Dighton Griffith Secondary School still on our left. Turn down Kendal Hill so that you can see yet another constituency office. I'm not sure what we'll do when we do the St. Michael Drive. This is the popular supermarket on the left, on the right, and this is Kendal Hill Park, yet another residential area. Quite different from Wotton and Kingsland. Some of these homes can be seen from the highway, well, not this side. The homes to the left can be seen from the highway, the said ABC Highway. You can see Koeman through there. Big hardware store. So that's just a small venture into Kendal Hill Park. That's popular ahead of us. Popular supermarket. Packed. It's usually packed, especially around public holidays and Christmas time. Can't find anywhere to park. This takes us, this is Kendal Hill, and this takes us all the way down to Maxwell Road and Oistins and so on. We want to pass the constituency office. Here it is, Christchurch West Central, Adrian Medic Ford they call him. This is Kendal Hill, the famous Kendal Hill. Maxwell Hill Road, and we are at Hunt's Auto Spares. This is a very, very well-known spot for car parts, and this view here shows you the beautiful Kendall Hill with its very modest but Barbadian-like dwelling houses. You can see a mixture of concrete and wooden, so the spin off from the chattel houses, and this is just a lovely view similar to Oistins. It's worth a view. Maxwell Hill Road. This Christchurch, this parish of Christchurch, there are so many things to do and to see in this parish that it's almost exhausting trying to cover it all. Maxwell Hill Road will take you back out to Christchurch Foundation School. There's a church out here that looks almost like a shelter, a bomb shelter. There it is. If you turn at that road, it takes you into housing development. Not sure the name of that church, but it's quite noticeable because of its design. Off Maxwell Hill Road. And then we come through Gall Hill. So there's a lot to see in this Christchurch, and if you look at our part 5, we're going to cover other areas such as the drive-in cinema, Sheraton Park, the mall, Navy Gardens, and a few other areas. Through Gall Hill. This area has had a bit of a bad rap in recent times because of some drive-by shootings, or a drive-by shooting, or rather 2 incidents, one of which was a drive-by shooting. A very peaceful area, and it's unfortunate that 1 or 2 idiots ruin it for everybody else who generally wants to live peacefully. Not sure why these criminals get up on mornings and choose violence. Canevale Crescent. As you can see, this is a very peaceful area. So you can judge it for yourself. Never mind what is covered in the media. One or two incidents. Here we see the Joe Edgell Park on the left. Joseph Edgell. Aberdeen Jones complex to our right, and we've come full circle because we covered this area from the other direction. To Highway T, that's the right turn that we took. Churchill Road, which took us by the Maria Holder School and behind Christchurch Foundation. This is Water Street, on which you can find the Christchurch Girls Primary School. And as you know, D&J Drives loves to highlight the schools in every parish, in every area. This is Christchurch Girls Primary, and of course the gate is closed. Other school, the Milton Lynch Primary School, the boys' school, formerly Christchurch Boys' School, and this gate is open. Just our luck. There's some sort of a Cub Scout activity. Seems as if they thought we were parents coming to collect. That's why the gate is locked. And then we rejoin the Kingsland Gall Hill Road for a second time. Last time, Joe Edgell Play Park on the right, Christchurch Foundation School straight ahead, and the Aberdeen Jones Centre and Market to our right. We rejoin Highway T. street to the left and we turn into Durants. So Durants is a large area. You can find the Barbados Golf Club. Some people call it the Durants Golf Course. In fact, this is the back of the golf course right here by this fence. And these people live all along the golf course. Golf course all to the left. Very large houses in here, such as this one and this. And in this area, Durants, you'll find a mixture of older structures and more modern, because the area has experienced somewhat of a renaissance. It's an old residential area, but very upscale and in demand, so people purchase them and refurbish them. You can see the golfers out there. This property here would have been here for some time. Has not been very modernized. The ones to the right, very much so. If you look at the architecture here on the left, you'll see that these properties were probably there maybe in the 70s and 80s. Unlike this one here to the right, this is a brand new property that was there at least 2 years. You can see a plane coming in there. Looks like Caribbean Airlines. Some nice properties out here. In here as well, new development going along here. The peculiar thing about this area is that it's called Durants, but it's also Callendars. So all of these properties in here are in Durants, but those properties ahead of you there are in Callenders, just by this old windmill. So Callenders was the name of the plantation. And it seems as if Durants was also a neighboring plantation. Not quite sure of the history, but there are some people whose the front of their homes look into Callenders and the back look into Durants. We are properly in Durants, and as you turn here you are moving between Durants and Callenders. So depending on where you are, you can get from low to middle to high income dwellings in all of these Callenders and Durants. You can see the lighthouse down there. And you can see the south point is quite close to the lighthouse, and of course we've covered that in a previous video. There's a lot to see in Christchurch. This Kermitt's bar on the right is a popular spot on a Friday night. Well, not only Friday night, but especially Friday night. We are back on Highway 7. Some people call this Durants Road. Some people call it Callenders Road. We'll just dip into one or two of the areas. This is Lloyd's Court. Straight ahead is where we turned a short while ago behind there, Durants. Neighborhood. Bit of a problem in that there's some sort of land dispute with the original owners of the land, and there's some confusion where some relative has set up a container there and is living there in disputed circumstances, but we can't speak much about it because we don't know the details. But it's a bit of an eyesore for an area like this. So that's Callenders, just bordering Durants. And then on the other side of this road is another Callenders. This area here is Wilfred Abrams' constituency. And you can see a different housing stock. Still well put together, but more on the middle to lower income category. It almost has a sort of a Kingsland / Wotton feel to it. Smaller lots and similar architecture, almost as if the area was purpose built and you had to choose from among 2 or 3 designs. Then you come back out to Highway 7. And this is Callenders Park. So you saw Lloyd's Court, Callenders Court, and now this is Callenders Park. And of course, these properties are modern, they are larger lots. So you can get an idea of the area here along Highway 7. Properties that cater to all income levels. Callenders and Durants go all the way down from the Providence Church. So we leave Callenders Park, we rejoin Highway 7, and this house to our left is very famous because it's well lit at Christmas time, and this is Callenders Crescent. And the signs make it much easier for us to explain where we are. Every area doesn't have as many signs as this or this area. Very nice properties down here. the news, and every year it's covered in the newspapers. This house in Christchurch that is a big attraction every year. There are lights all across. This is the house at the corner here. You can see the reindeer on the roof, and people come from all over Barbados to see this house. On our right, we'll turn up this road so you can see it better. And of course there's a lot of traffic. That's Highway 7 out there, so it's just a cul-de-sac type thing. One road in, one road out. So that's the house ahead of us. You can see there's a crash. This is a side view of the house, so you can see all of those features there. There's traffic here at night at Christmas time. All of the, well, not all of the, many news outlets come here to cover that house, notably The Nation newspaper and CBC, and they interview the lady who does it, and she talks all about her plans from year to year. And this last turnoff is Durants Fairways. Fairways because it's it backs the golf course. And there are some very elaborate houses in here. So you can see to the right of us 2 open lots that back the golf course. Very large lots in here with well-designed properties, very fancy at that. All of these properties face the golf course, as you can see right here. Sometimes there are for sale signs on these empty lots, and they disappear and come back a few years later. This is Durants Fairways, and then it opens right into this area where we turned a short while ago. By that windmill we pointed out, we explained that it's Durants and Callenders. So this is Durants Fairway Villas, and those properties out there are in Callenders. We turned by that house a short while ago. So that's part 4 of exploring Christchurch. You see there's a for sale sign there. That's part 4 of exploring the parish of Christchurch. Obviously when we start to do St. Michael, that might carry us into more than 4, 5, 6, maybe even up to 8 parts. But given that we've done so many drives through different parts of St. Michael, we may be able to omit things such as we've done with Christchurch. And still, even though we left out lots of stuff, we've gone to 4 parts now, and we'll be going into the 5th and final immediately after this drive. Back onto Highway 7. Durants Road, as some people call it, or Callenders Road. As we pass the Barbados Golf Club on our left. All to the left here is Durants. We came down this road on the previous occasion. So we just navigate this dangerous junction here, and we face the Providence Methodist Church. This area takes us all into Parish land. And affords us a lovely view of the sea. And this is where we will end today's drive. D&J signing off at 5:08 p.m. on the 15th of December 2024, and thanking you for joining us. Thank you for all your support, and please remember to share these videos and to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Until next time.